Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop, or should I say welcome back to on top of the barn. As you can see, I've been pretty busy up here working away. Now, we've been plugging away on this barn really hard, me and a couple of really good friends. We got all of this work done, all of this lumber tied in and put together just before my good friend Hurricane Matthew decided to come along. Now, we did lots of prep work, or should I say I did a lot of prep work before the hurricane came. So here's the barn. The afternoon sun, you can see the mud pile left from Hurricane Matthew. Everything is extremely wet and muddy. We probably had 10 to 12 inches of rain here. A lot of rain. Center span here, I've told you this before, but the center span measures 40 feet wide, 14 feet 2 inches tall, and from front to back is 54 feet. You'll notice that each one of these girders is tied with the rafter with a hurricane strap. Kind of grapple with which kind of hurricane straps to use, but all in all, if a hurricane tears these hurricane straps plus all the drywall or the deck screws that are in it out, the last thing I'm going to really need to worry about is those hurricane straps. The entire barn is strapped, bolted, through bolted, and double screwed. I don't know if you can see up there, there's more hurricane straps. Every truss is hurricane strapped down. And then I did something a little bit unique here, is I put a 2x8 on top of that top beam. And that gave me a few inches overhang, about 4, where I was able to screw from the bottom up into the trusses. By doing that, it helped me keep that beam that runs all the way down and carries the load real nice and straight. And it also gave me multiple places to clip those trusses down, because this is a very large space to catch wind. I mean, it's Florida, like we don't get hurricanes here, right? So everything is going to be double and triple screwed down. All right, so here we go. We're inside the trusses. I want to show you this. I connected that, a 45-degree angle, back down to where I have the blocking, which runs the whole length of the barn, to try to strengthen the gables, keep them from wiggling a lot in the wind, because we had winds here and probably in excess of 70 miles an hour. And something worked. Whether I'm just lucky enough to know how to build something, or the trees around us probably buffered us some too. And I can assure you that if it needed 1 screw, I always put 2 in. Over here, the K braces or knee braces, some people call them different things, but they're basically the 45-degree braces that go up and down and hold the trusses in place. They're not pretty, but they're in. And I didn't have them before the hurricane, and literally it was already starting to rain and blow when I was up here screwing those in, because those are very important, as well as these floor braces. Now all these will come out, and I will wind up putting plywood all the way down. I got 3/4 inch plywood. Nothing heavy up here because it's such a wide span, but it's good storage for a lot of lightweight things, like, you know, like a car fender or a lawn decoration, lawn ornament for Christmas, or something that's not heavy, but bulky and takes up room. And that pole we put in place so that when we set the very first truss, which is obviously the gable truss here, we had something to tie to. And that held that first truss in place until we could get 4 or 5 set and all the temporary scabbing in place. That pole very likely may be the reason this barn is still standing after the hurricanes, because I went up there and added a whole bunch more scabs to the top up there, and there's more scabs. I've taken 1 off, but a bunch more scabs to the bottom to stabilize these trusses from trying to do this in the wind. Taking on a project of this size is a pretty massive undertaking, especially for one guy by himself. I want to point out my friend Brian Block over on his channel. Down below in the description box, I'll be sure to put a link to his channel. Brian's taken a barn about the size of this one over 100 years old. He's jacked it up, built a substructure out of I-beams inside, big enough for a 30-ton crane, and then lowered the barn back down on top and rebuilt the barn. It is a massive undertaking. Be sure to go check out his channel for the step-by-step guide on how he did it. Little accident we had thanks to Hurricane Matthew. I'm gonna say an accident. We're gonna call it an accident even though it was on purpose, but it was one of those controlled accidents. This tree, it took up this whole entire space where you see sky, was a really big oak. It's fixing to get sawn to pieces and hauled out of here to be burned, or to firewood if anybody wants free firewood. I cut it intentionally because I knew that it was going to go over in the storm. And I'll show you what I mean. There's all the chickens. If you look at the bottom of this tree, the whole inside of the tree was rotten. And it was so rotten, in fact, I kind of misjudged it when I cut my felling notch, and then I cut my hinge cut on the back side. It was so rotten down here on the side that it literally blew out before I could complete my hinge cut all the way, and went a little bit more to the right than I wanted. I wanted it to go right about where those trees were over there. Those are just a bunch of brush. But nothing got hurt. So, and it actually was a blessing in disguise, because that tree laying right there on the ground protected the chicken coop from the wind. A couple other things we did for hurricane preparedness. I was busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest the day before the hurricane. Don't know if the camera will pick it up. There is a cable that runs all the way over through the trees, and it goes over here and ties to this tree. And here's why I did this. And again, we'll never know whether it worked or didn't, but this is in Florida what we call the water oak. And they're known for breaking, but they're beautiful trees. And this one hangs over my neighbor's carport shed that they keep their motorhome in. And I asked them if they wanted me to cut it down because it overhangs theirs, and they said, nope, leave it up, man, leave it up. We like the shade, we like to keeping things cool, but I was afraid that the wind might break it and it fall on top. So what I did was I took a cable, and I cabled from there all the way over to the top of that tree over there, with the idea, if the wind broke the top out of this sweet gum tree, it can't fall towards the barn. It can only fall left over here in the giant colossal Hurricane Matthew mud pile, or over there into the woods where my materials are temporarily stored. It would have to go left or right. The cable wouldn't let it go. Now there is slack in the cable to allow the trees to move. Same thing with there. If the roots or the top broke out of that tree, it could go left, it could go right, but it can't go away without pulling this tree with it. Now remember the thingamajig too, right? I thought I was done with that, but I don't know that I'm quite done with it yet. You might actually see thingamajig 3, because you see these panels right here? These are all the roof panels for the barn. It's about 6,000 pounds of roof panels, although it doesn't really look like it. They're 3 feet wide and 23.5 feet long for the main section of the barn. And then over there, see, there's more mud and water everywhere. You can see it's squishy everywhere. These are the 14-4 panels for the lean-to, and some more panels for the girder ends. I'm gonna try to figure out something with thingamajig. There might be a thingamajig 3, because I gotta do this all by myself, and I don't know how to do it any other way. So I'm putting my thinking cap on. So I am really excited about getting all of this mess that's back here, all this stuff that I have to keep stored outside, because this place was never had enough storage. There's all kinds of aluminum and steel. Here, over here are all of my implements for my tractor, 3-bottom plow, forks, landscape rake, bucket, extra box blade, arena rake. I've got a set of disc harrows that's over at the neighbor's farm right now. My sprayer over there. Everything is going to wind up going in there, and this place will stop looking like Sanford and Son. And I'm really excited about that. I hope you've enjoyed this little update we've given you. Sorry we've been a little delayed in getting you regular YouTube videos here for a while, but we have been hard at work trying to get this colossal beast knocked out. And I'm super excited about moving on to the next project. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and like us on Facebook. Please, somewhere down below here is a link. We've got a lot more really cool stuff coming. Is that right, camera guy? Is there a link down there? Send me a comment. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Click whatever link, click something. See you soon.